Welcome back to Nidia and Dwayne's Kitchen. Today we're going to have a very quick, very simple recipe for you, and it's for a dip. It's actually a dip that you can bring to parties or, around the holidays, or gosh, if you just want to watch a nice football game and you want something to munch on that's really good. It is a hot crab and cheese dip. And it's so easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of fancy ingredients, and you can pull the whole thing together and then heat it in your oven, cook everything through, and it'll be ready in about 30-35 minutes. So very simple, very easy, and I'll tell you what you need from your pantry and from your fridge to make this hot crab cheese dip. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to make our hot crab cheese dip. And let me just tell you, the first thing that you're going to need is a bar and a half. So it's about 12 ounces of cream cheese. You can certainly use the light cream cheese or the Neufchâtel cream cheese. I have regular cream cheese. And yes, I know that there's a problem stocking regular, I guess, Philly cream cheese. So this is the Stop and Shop brand. You will also need crab meat. I have this kind of crab meat. This is Bumblebee white crab meat. If you can find it, I couldn't, and I tried 2 different grocery stores, lump crab meat, you will want to use that first and foremost. It is a little pricey, but for the flavoring of the dip, if you don't have the lump crab meat, it's really just the texture that's a little different, and you can certainly use the white crab meat that you get from any canned crab meat. You will need some Old Bay seasoning. This is the best seafood seasoning. Some dry mustard. I like to use a little minced onion. I don't like the actual taste of a real onion. I think it adds too much texturally and takes away from the crab and the cheese. But some of this, just a hint of onion in the background. If you like scallions, which I absolutely do, but unfortunately I don't have any at home right now, you can use scallion and just top after you bake it with the scallion to get that crunch and to get that oniony sort of flavor. You will need some mayo. I use Hellmann's. And you will need a blend of cheddar cheeses. I'm using a triple cheddar. I've also made this with plain cheddar and with a Gouda mix, or just a Gouda that I've grated and a cheddar that I've grated. I just happen to have a bag of triple cheddar, so I'm going with this, 3 different kinds of cheddar cheeses. This is mainly for the topping and just a smidge in the middle. But I'm going to show you how to pull this dip together, because you basically do everything in one bowl and then you transfer it over to an oven safe dish. I'm using like a pie dish, not a big deep one, but certainly enough for as much dip as I'm planning to make. And I'll show you how we pull it together in just a minute. Okay, so here is the bar and a half of cream cheese, which I did soften. It was already soft, but I did soften in the microwave because you need to get it so that it is smooth. So you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to get it all bubbly like it's cooked, but you do want to be able to take the softened cream cheese and stir it around like so and get it to that smooth consistency and to that uniform texture desired for the base of the dip. And to this, you are going to add a cup. Yep, a cup of mayo. You can also use a combination of maybe 3/4 cup mayo and a little bit of sour cream. I've seen that used, but I'm going to go with the mayo and the cream cheese. And you can see once you add the mayo, it really does get a lot smoother, and you want to get those cream cheese lumps out of the, out of the mix. So I'm kind of hammering down the lumps of cream cheese. I'm using a regular spoon. Some people do like to beat this with a cake mixer. I don't mind a little bit of a lump of a cream cheese because I happen to love cream cheese. But it seems to me that if you do warm it, like in the microwave, from the softened room temp that you take it out of the fridge and wait a little bit for, it does get pretty creamy. And you can see that that's happening right here. I do see a couple lumps. They just kind of dissolve. And you get that nice, smooth texture. And I'll beat this for a little bit longer to get most of the lumps out. That's already happening. Getting smooth, smoother. Perfect. You can see that it's nice and smooth now. Okay, so here is our nice smooth cream cheese and mayo. And again, you can use light cream cheese. You can also use light mayo if you want to save on the calories. Then use the lighter version of these products. I am going to add my crab meat, which I did drain. And I am using white crab meat, the bumblebee kind. It is preferable to use the lump crab meat. You can find it usually in cans next to where the seafood is at most restaurants. I mean delis and things where the fish is usually sold in your grocers. But this is fine for a dip, absolutely fine. If you do use the lump, be careful when you're mixing it in. You really want to fold it in because you don't want the lumps to dissolve. But since I'm using plain white crab and it's already kind of mushed up, it doesn't matter. You can see that I'm going to fold the crab into this. I'm making a fairly large dip. You can absolutely cut everything here in half. Therefore, you can probably make a smaller serving for just a couple of people, maybe just an appetizer for a dinner party or such, with just half or a bar of cream cheese. One, maybe I will say 8-ounce lump crab meat. I actually am using 16 because these the white crab is not as substantial in terms of its texture. And you can see that I now have a crabby, creamy, cheesy, mayo-y mix. It smells really, really good. It definitely has that seafood smell. To this, I'm going to add the equivalent. And again, I'm not the big mixer. I would say about 1 tablespoon of minced onion. And certainly your mileage may vary, but here comes the Old Bay. Really, really good stuff. I'm adding about a tablespoon. Ground mustard is about half the amount of that. So about a teaspoon and a half. Wait, this is kind of hard. I actually might have to do it with my measuring spoons. Here you go. A little bit. Oops, I already put a little in. There we go. The Old Bay is definitely the spice that gives this more of its kind of expected seafood flavor because, you know, Old Bay is just such a great seafood spice blend. It's really my favorite. And there's nothing like shrimp cooked in beer with Old Bay. Oh man, so good. This will give the color a slight tint because the Old Bay does have that brownish, reddish brick color look to it. But it kind of goes with the fact that you're making a dip. And it will go into the oven, and it is crab dip. You definitely do want some of that. Now, right around now, I do like to add in a little smidge of the triple cheddar cheese just to kind of break up. And I don't really measure it. I just add the equivalent of, I'd say this is about a quarter cup to the inside of the mix. You know, speaking of cheddar, those cheddar biscuits that they serve at some seafood restaurants down south, I think they actually used to have them at that restaurant that used to sell a lot of frozen seafood. I don't remember the name of it. I don't think we have one around here anymore. Oh yeah, Red Lobster, but they're known for their cheddar biscuits, and there's nothing like a nice cheddar melted into just about anything. All right, so this is the mix. This mix is what will be put into this in a minute. I have my oven preheating to 350, and I'm going to transfer this into my oven ready. Everything is combined, everything is smooth. And again, I'll write the ingredients in the description box below this video with some estimates. Typically when you see dip recipes, you see them for a smaller portion of dip that would have fewer servings. But I figured if I'm making dip, I'm gonna make dip. Here we go. This is the melty, gooey, cheesy crab mix that makes up the base of the dip. Just make sure I get everything from the bowl. And then we'll decorate the top with the remaining. And I have here the mixture ready to go into the oven. I do have my cheese blend, and the cheese blend is going to go over the top of the dip mix. And as I said, this is a triple cheese. Ordinarily, if I didn't already have this, or if I wanted to be a little fancier, I would shred my own cheddar, either sharp, mild, any kind of cheddar, and I would shred some Gouda. And I think this is the top crust. I am, for good measure, and because I'm me, adding a few drops of hot sauce over the top of this, like so, just for some zing-zag. I like things a little zingy. There we go. And I also like to add a little bit of paprika to the top here. And I have some paprika. Kind of give it a reddish glow, reddish hue over the top like that. Nothing too fancy. And this is ready to go into a preheated 350-degree oven. Ready for the oven. There's my oven. And there's middle rack for about 30 minutes. Here's what it looks like after 30 minutes. It's bubbling away. I have now put it on broil, so I can broil the top until it gets a little darker and a little caramelly, custardy looking. Well, kind of creme brulee-ish looking. Anyway, I put it on broil so I can get the top a little bit more browned in the oven, and it'll be ready to take out. Here you go. It's cooked, browned, and ready to take out of the oven. There you have it, the cheesy crab dip. Looks and smells delicious. And I know Dwayne, when he comes home from work, is going to dig into some warm, cheesy crab dip with some crackers before dinner. Thanks again for watching. I'll put the recipe down below. And see you next time from Dwayne and Nydia's Kitchen.